Welcome everyone to Selective Preparation Power Thinking Skills Test 46. So in this video we are going to have some selected questions that we are going to revise that derive from test 46. Let's look at the first one. First question, drawing conclusions. Which one can be implied from the information above? Let's highlight the main ideas in the information. So we have law firms that operate on a billable target according to the number of hours they spend. There are no set hours and many are overworked and spend longer than 40 hours per week. Notice this word many, not all, not every, not none, but many. This has resulted in a sharp decline in hours of sleep, thus levels of focus have already fallen. Now this word thus implies a correlation. What that means is there is a cause and there is a direct effect of that cause. So a sharp decline in hours of sleep has caused levels of focus to fall. So that is basically the most definitive statement in this whole passage. This last part is a fact that is kind of said confidently and is supported with some kind of evidence. So we're going to use that bracketed bit as thing that we can imply. So answer is D. An effect of sleep deprivation is inability to focus. Because of this word here, thus shows that the effect of the cause is an inability to focus. Okay. All the other ones are assumptions, okay, and they can't directly prove it from the passage given. You can have a go at testing why all of the other ones don't quite work. Right, number 2, so we had quite a long passage here, lots of numbers there just to confuse you, and which one is best supported by the passage above. So the answer here is actually C, okay? This whole passage is about breaking the 2006 American Marathon record. And it says here, Shalane Flanagan, she fell short. What does it mean by to fall short? It means to not be able to reach the target, okay? She finished at 2:21:14. And if you look at the whole passage, the only number that is lower than that, okay, is this number here, 2:19:36. So by comparing these numbers, we can see that this is the number we want to be. Okay, and obviously Shalane Flanagan, hasn't beat that number, although she did do it at a later date. Okay, so that's why C is the answer. Can I read of these solutions to see why A, B, and D are not the best answers here? Okay, number 3, so we have a ratio-based question. There's 256 customers in a shopping center. Ratio of male to female is 5:3 initially. Okay, remember there's a total of 256 right now. What does that mean? There are 5 parts male to 3 parts female, which is a total of 8 parts. So we can divvy up 256 by 8. Goes in 3 times 24. Drop the 6. 2 times 16. And you realize there's 32 per part people. Okay. So now you can multiply both by 32. And this comes out to be 160. And this comes out to be 96. So that is the original ratio. Now, 56 female workers left the shopping center. Sorry, let's just say customers. Customers left the shopping center. What is the ratio of male to female after that? If I minus 56 from here, I get 40. So it's 160 to 40. Now it is our job to simplify. Okay, we can cancel out the zeros by dividing by 10. 4 and 16 divisible by 1. 4 to 1 is the answer. The answer is A. If you're not careful, you might select B by accident, but remember they ask for male to female. Okay, so male first and then female ratio, so B would be incorrect. 4. So Katie says it would be beneficial if people biked more often, and Stephanos says no, because we do not have the bike racks available. We want to explain why Stephanos' argument is weak. Okay, sorry, this A, B, C, D. So why is Stephanos' argument weak? The answer here is D. Okay, the reason being, bike racks and bikes are two different entities. So Katie is talking about bikes and the benefits of biking, and Stephanos has incorrectly assumed or I guess projected that a fact about bike racks, okay, which is quite unrelated. It seems like it's related because of the word bike, but in essence it's not. So that's why D is the answer. Okay, he's assuming there is an inherent tie between bikes and bike racks, and that all bikes need to be chained to a bike rack. 5, problem solving. So Justin walks and it takes him 28 minutes when it takes only 12 minutes to ride. Each term, Justin travels to school average 50 times. What is the average length of time if he rides 2 out of 5 days per week? Okay, so every week he rides 2 out of 5 days. So basically that's a ratio of 2 to 3, right? 2 days he rides and 3 days he will bike. He'll walk. So that is a total of 5. If you add it up, it equals 5, right? It does it for 50 times. So you can times this by 10 and then divide that by 50, okay, just to get the average. So we'll start with the numbers, filling it in. So he takes 28 minutes, right? 28 minutes for walking. 1 times that by 3. 24, 6, 7, 84 for walking. And for riding, he takes 12 minutes. So 12 times 2 is 24 for riding. So we'll add that together, 24 plus 84, and that will tell us 1 week. Okay, 108. And times that by 10, 1080, that is for 50 times. Okay, because we have 5 days and times that by 10, you get 50. All right, so you can divide that by 50 now to get average of each time. It goes in twice, 100, you minus, you get 8, drop the 0. Once, 50, 30, point, out of 0. 5 into 300 goes in 6 times. Okay, 300. Now we have to be careful here. 21.6 is not 21 and 6 seconds. Okay, what this actually is 21 and 6 over 10. Okay, 6/10 of a minute. What is that in seconds? You can times both top and bottom by 6 to get it over 60, right? And you get 21 and 36 over 60 minutes, which is the same as 21 minutes and 36 seconds. Because we converted the bottom to be over 60. So that's why the answer here is B. Okay. Number 6, a group of girls cut a piece of ribbon. While cutting the ribbon, they made a mistake and had some ribbon remaining. Each of the girls received 1.5 centimeters less than they should have received. How much more ribbon do they need to give the 7th girl the same amount of ribbon they all received? Okay, so we are first going to figure out how much extra they need to receive. 1.5, and we'll times it by 6 because there's 6 girls, and we get 9 centimeters. Okay, I'm going to minus it from the total, 141 minus 9, to get how much that they actually shared. So this is how much they shared. So now we can share it between 6, okay, 132 divided by 6 goes in twice, 12, 1, drop the 2, goes in twice. So there's 22 centimeters per girl right now, okay. So remember, there was an extra 9 which was missing from each girl's portion. So this would be going to the 7th girl basically. So what we do is we minus it from 22. 22 minus 9, and you get 13 centimeters. So that is the extra amount that the 7th girl will need to receive so that everyone has the same amount. So B is the answer. Okay, 7 to 8, we have some ordering. Remember, for these questions, your main objective is to find a logical flow. You start with the most broad statement there, okay, that will introduce the topic, and then you find links that connect each statement to each other. So the broadest statement here is number 4. There are 2 ways in which you can get to the supermarket from here. Okay, so we're going to start with 4, and then you go into something that will link there, okay? Maybe number 2, one route, because we're talking about 2 ways. So the one route will take you past the post office. That's number 2. Now let's find a link with the post office. Number 3, I would advise you take that one or link with the route if you need to conduct any business there. It's talking about the post office. Number 3, it is, however, the longest way, and if you don't need to go there, I would suggest you go to the other way. So we're linking to that idea of the route. So 1 is last. Now you can match it up with the answer and you see A is correct. So this next question is a continuation of the last one. It's also ordering question. Remember what our tip was? We have to find the most broad general statement first and then move into the more specific ones. So the broadest one is actually here, number 3. Demands for tough new racial discrimination law were made today amid warnings of an end of the fragile peace in Britain's inner cities. So the new discrimination law, we're introducing that, so we're going to put 3 first. Now we want to get into more specifics of what this law is about. Specifically, the Commission for Racial Equality wants to measure to prevent racial discrimination to be extended to central and local government. So you don't really need to know what these words mean directly, but you need to observe these connections, okay? So number 4 is next. Now we've been talking about this Commission for Racial Equality. So you can look at number 1 and number 2, which both have the word commission in it, okay? From here, you can see that if we presented an annual report, and number 1 talks about presenting the report. So we have to introduce what the report is before we say the report. So number 2 is actually the next one, presents its annual report, which records evidence of widespread discrimination, and then we'll talk about the chairperson in presenting their report. 3, 4, 2, 1 is the order, so B is your final answer. Okay, so this last question, sum of 2 different whole numbers is 32, difference is less than 10. How many different pairs of numbers fit this description? So we are going to start with 16 and 16, halfway mark. Obviously, it can't be these numbers because they are not 2 different numbers. But these are the 2 numbers that will give us the smallest difference, and we're going to build up from there. If you minus 1 and plus 1 to each, you can see the difference here is 2, and it'll add up to 32. You're going to keep going. So 15 and 17, 14 and 18, that's a difference of 4. We have 13 and 19, difference of 6. And we can have 12 and 20, that's a difference of 8. You notice the next one would be 11 and 21. That is a difference of 10, and they want it to be less than 10. So this one is out. So there is a total of 4 pairs of numbers. So the answer is C. Okay, so some key points from this test, we can talk about the ordering. Okay, always start from the broadest, okay, most general statement. Okay, from there, make direct links between keywords in each statement. Okay, and ensure it follows a logical flow. Okay, so hopefully that video helped you guys, and please review that takeaway for next time. Until then, I hope you have a lovely week, and I'll see you then.